So today I put a picture up on Facebook of my Pathfinder that I just finished painting today. And somebody asked me what he was like on the tabletop. This is the original mercenary Pathfinder from Deadzone 1. And I had to admit I don't know, because I've never used him. In fact, I've never played Enforcers before. So tonight I thought I'd give it a quick run out with the AI deck. 100 points of Enforcers versus 100 points of Plague. I did that size really because, as well as the Pathfinder, I wanted to put in the missile launcher and the sniper and the beam laser, the burst laser, sorry. So that means you've got to have 100 points really. And for the Plague, that means as well as the usual sort of, shuffling assortment of monsters, I've got 1 stage 2A, the Strider, the Boomstick, and the Plague Mortar. So probably going to see lots of models getting bounced off the board by the looks of things. Here's the setup. Apologies, not all the Enforcers, in fact none of the Enforcers are painted except for Pathfinder, who's hiding down in there. And they're all stuck on the edge here and getting ready to scatter as quickly as they can. And over here on the other side of this little district, there's the Plague. So I've got my mortar there. It's kind of, I'm never quite sure what to do with these guys. You might have some better ideas for deployment, but I've stuck them there because they're in cover. I basically count anything that's got something in there as being a cover cube, whether or not it's boxes or just a little bit of a gantry there. And then in the background here we've got the Strider, the 2A and the dog, all getting ready to do whatever the cards tell them to. So I'm going to try and do a video each round, and we'll see how the Enforcers get on, and in particular how the Pathfinder does. Okay, so it's the end of round 1, and frankly a disappointing performance on all sides. The Pathfinder, he had a chance to take a sniper shot at the Boomstick, who'd moved into cover down here. What the Pathfinder gets, he gets extra dice for when he aims, because he's got hollow sight. And even with that, he couldn't kill this dude. All he could do is put a wound on him. Better than nothing, I guess. Missile launcher had a shot at the Strider using true line of sight. That you could definitely see some of him through a little gap in the buildings, and completely failed to hit the Strider. I think he got 2 successes, and the Strider easily saved those 2 successes. The blaze away, I got blaze away from the burst laser. That managed to slow down the stage 2 and the Plague Hound a little bit. Well, at least it slowed down the Plague Hound, pinned him, but of course he just gets back up and then moved because he hadn't activated yet. Managed to make a successful command action with the Sergeant, and unfortunately he only got 1 success and nobody else was left to be activated. So all I got to do was take the next card from the top of the hand of battle cards. And that was it. Nobody else hit anything. The only other success for the Enforcers was to distract the mortar team, which I can see how you could argue that you'd have to distract them twice, but I'm saying they're distracting. He's distracting the gunner, and that's all you need to do. And that's about it for stage 1. So, for turn 1. We move on to turn 2. So round 2 is over. There's been first blood on both sides. The Boomstick is down, not from the Pathfinder, who is still hiding under that building and again missed, but from lowly Bob, who jumped up. He jumped up to there, took a shot, and nailed the Boomstick. Bad news for Bob was then the Plague Dog jumped up there and ate him. So that was kind of the end of Bob, basically. The Plague Dog managed to double him in a fight and moved down to there. 2A, he's moving, he's charging as fast as he can. The Enforcers couldn't stop the mortar from firing this time, and it managed to knock the heavy beam laser down from his perch, unfortunately quite close to the 2A. But the beam laser had managed to pin, wound and suppress these dudes before he got knocked off his perch. And then the final actor was the Plague Heavy Gunner, who managed to pin, wound and suppress this little enforcer over here. So that's turn 2, and we'll move on to turn 3. Alright, so that's the end of turn 3. I've got to say, it's not looking good for the enforcers. They are singularly failing to kill just about anything. They managed to knock off a Plague Hound in that turn. Unfortunately, the stage 2 is all the way over to the enforcer's deployment zone by now. The only thing that's saved us is the heavy beam dude up here had found a grenade, and so he threw that down, and it just managed to knock the stage 2A over there. And he is on rampage, so who knows, the enforcers might get to control him in the next turn. Apart from that, nothing else has really changed. Nobody else got killed. That guy got knocked down. I think that was from because they've been shot at by this guy. That might have been the previous turn. And this enforcer charged into combat with a Get Mean card, and still only managed to get 1 success. Luckily, the Plague was just as bad, only getting 1 success as well. So over here, the star of the show, the Pathfinder, being right in the charge lane for the stage 2A, he decided discretion was the better part of valor, so he's moved out over there because I have got the option of infiltration. I get 2 points if he infiltrates off the board, or he might actually be able to kill something. Who knows? Moving on to turn 4. So at the end of turn 4, things are definitely going the enforcer's way. The sniper managed to obliterate the stage 2A, where he'd been blown by the grenade. The commander, because he's run out of action points, or command points rather, he then becomes he acts like a line trooper, which if you follow the rules for the AI, he basically runs forwards to try and shoot people, and that just meant that he got nailed by an enforcer that aimed and was higher than him and blew him away. One of the other quirks of the AI rules is with the Strider here, the Plague Strider, he's classed as an assault trooper, or as an assault, which means that basically he should move towards the enemy's deployment zone, or and try and get into a fight with somebody. But then on his card, he's also got a ranged weapon. He's got a heavy flamer, which is range 3. And it only works as blaze away. So, but it kind of brings up a bit of a quandary, because in the previous round he was within range of flaming. I think it was this enforcer I made him out to be. So if you go sort of three cubes, as far as I'm concerned, he's got the range. So he took a shot and he managed to suppress that enforcer. But it does sort of negate the whacking great big chainsaw he's carrying in his fist. So it kind of feels like, I think what I probably should have done, I probably should have, sort of rolled a d8, and on a 1 to 4 he moves, and on a, anything else then he uses his flamer. I think that's probably a reasonable sort of course of action to take. And you find yourself having to do that a lot with the AI rules. There's a lot of situations that aren't covered in the rules, and there's no obvious priority of what models should do, and so I often just end up sort of randomising, picking the 1 or 2 most likely options, and then randomising amongst them. But yeah, for the moment he's stuck there. I think in the next round I probably will roll a dice and see whether he decides to charge or keep on flaming people. And meanwhile, the Pathfinder is all the way over there. He's ready to jump out. I think I'll total up the points. I haven't quite got enough to win the game at this stage. I think I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm on 6. And if he jumped over, then that would make it 8. But of course I'd lose all his shooting. And what I really want to do is get some guys over here and try and suppress this mortar team, because it's an absolute pain in the backside getting mortared every turn. On to turn 5.